Hey guys, Atheist Brickster coming as German Army update number 2. And last video I showcased my custom Panzer 1C, and so today I'll be showcasing my custom Marder 2. So here it is. Alright, the Marder 2 was a German tank destroyer produced by Nazi Germany mid-war and throughout the rest of the war. It was heavily feared by the Allies because it was a very stealthy tank destroyer. It was also very quick and very mobile, and it could pack one hell of a punch. And so it had a crew of 3 people. The driver sat right here, and this is the driver's optics, so he knows what he's driving. It had the gunner, who is also the loader, and he sat right here, and also had the commander, who sat right there. Prototype started in 1941, but it hit mass production in May of 1942. About 3,000 or so Marder 2s were produced altogether. And, also a little fun fact is the, back. The Marder 2 is an open tank destroyer, which means the, which means it was open, so right here is open, which made it very prone to artillery fire, meaning that if artillery were to shoot and were to hit right here, it could either damage or destroy the gun. It could either wipe out the whole crew, it could either damage or destroy the whole engine. The engine could then explode, or the engine could catch on fire, which was not so good. And so, in 1943, Adolf Hitler demanded that the Marder series was to be replaced, and so from that was born the Jagdpanzer 38T, also known as a Hetzer. If you play World of Tanks, you might be familiar with this tank. Depending on how long you've been playing. I'm not going to get into too much detail of the Hetzer. You can look it up on Google, Wikipedia, the Hetzer. Hetzer. And so, so let's get into further depth of the model itself. Alright, so the Marder had a ball turret. Most tanks, tank destroyers, and artillery, as a matter of fact, had a ball turret, and basically what a ball turret is, it's just a machine gun that's operated from the inside, and it's used to defend itself from infantry. And so it's just an antenna piece I just used, and so it can swivel from left to right, as shown there. Alright, the gun can also move up and down, but the gun is also very fragile. And so, and like I said before, here's the driver's optics, so he knows where he's driving. And, and so you can see that's clearly the front of the tank. And then here's the side of the tank. Here's the tracking system, right here. We have our, so the Marder 2 had 5 wheels on the bottom. It had 2 wheels, up above that, and then some models of the Marder, depending on which company produced it, some had 3 wheels on top right here, and some had 4, so I put 3 wheels. And then we've also got the bolt shield right here, and this was not used to protect the tank from tank-to-tank combat. This armor is way too thin. If another tank was to shoot something gonna hit right here, the shell will just go right through. It was not used to protect it from other tank fire. It was used to protect it from bullets, to protect the crew from bullets. And we've also got a little wooden box right here, so you could hold stuff right here, right there. And we've also got the mud guard. And so moving on to the other side, the back, I of course added a ladder to give it more detail. I've also added this piping to give it more detail as well. And you've got the 2 mud guards right here, and you've got the 2 wooden boxes right here. And then you can see right here is the gun. And then that gives you a somewhat good view of what the inside looks like. And then the other side is the exact same wooden box, so you can hold stuff in it. It doesn't actually open, of course. Got the mud gun, you got the tracking system. And then we go back to the front. You already saw it. And then also I forgot to say that the Marder 2 did not have a turret. And basically what the turret of a tank is It's the top of the, where it's a smaller part. You've got the hole. This is the hole right here. The turret would be right here. It's a smaller part of the tank, and that's where the gun is, the commander, the shooter, and the loader are. But the marder, most tank destroyers did not have turrets, and so the marder 2 did not have a turret. But its gun could swivel from left to right. But I'm going for more realistic look over playability. And so the gun cannot swivel from left to right really much. But it can go up and down, as already said. And then right here is just the front of the tank destroyer. And so, yeah, the tracks, they can move. Not a surprise. They can move. But they cannot move on a slick surface like this. Or on Lego, they need more traction than that. Like carpet. Yeah, and then, like all my tracks are, it's got a, it's not regular 1x1 tracks, it is 3x3 tracks, cut in half, so that way it's 1x1 wide, and I do that to make it more realistic, because, you know, tracks are not just like that, they are, you know, you've got the part where, you know, you've got the inside where the, wheels are connected to the tracks, and you've got the part, and yeah, and so this is what the this is what it looks like. That's the engine deck right there. And then here's the gun, of course, and yeah, and it does have an interior. There's nothing much in the interior. It's just a steering wheel. That's all. A minifigure cannot fit in the interior. He has to be laying down. So that's kind of a shame. Yeah, and so, and then this is what he looks like. This is what the Marder 2 looks like compared to a minifigure. So, yeah. It was not that big of a tank destroyer, but it was tall, though, I guess you could say. So, yeah, and then here is what it looks like with a minifigure in the back. That's him standing on the engine deck, and then this would be him standing, or the driver, no, not the driver, where the loader is, the shooter and the loader are. So, yeah. And then, so, yeah, here's the front of the tank, of course. Here's the side, and then here's the back. And so, yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for this video. If you liked the video you saw, then give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, then save them for the comments. And if you want to see more from where that came from, then please do subscribe. Also, find me on Flickr and Twitter, and Instagram. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. This is Atheist Brooks here, signing off.